Group 2, Legend or Folktale.
Hello everyone, in this video, my friend and I will explain folktale or legend. Here are the group names of Group 2. In this video, we will explain several things. First, definition, then type of the text, then structure, then when it is used, and then language features, and finally content analysis.
Introduce, my name is Gede Putra and my attendance list number is 8. I will explain about the definition and type of text, folktale or legend. Definition: folktale, a fictional story that has been passed down from person to person for many years. A folktale is a story passed on by word of mouth or a legend of myth shared among people of a culture. A story or legend forming part of an oral tradition. A tale or story that is part of the oral tradition of a people or a place. Type of the text: folktale. Folktale is from narrative text. Why it's called narrative text? Because both stories are not fiction genre, which are the following equation. 1. Together tell story from the past. 2. It is folktale that develop in the community as a shared story, although it can be retold in different versions. 3. Using nouns to replace animal, people, things in the story. Thank you.
Once upon a time in West Java, Indonesia, lived a princess named Dayong Sumbi. She was beautiful and kind-hearted. Her hobby was weaving cloth. But sometimes she could be very lazy. One day her weaving tool failed, but she was too lazy to get it herself. She shouted out, "Can anybody help me get my tool? If you are a female, I will take you as my sister. If you are a male, I will marry you." A male creature came, but it was a dog. His name was Tumong. He happily brought her the tool to her. Dayong Sumbi was very surprised, but she kept her promise. She married the dog. Tumong was actually a man who had been cursed by a witch to become a dog. But at certain times Tumong could turn back to be a normal man. Their only son, Sangkuryang, was soon born, and he grew up to be a handsome and healthy boy. He always playing with his very loyal dog, Tumong. He did not know that he was actually his father, because Dayong Sumbi hid the secret from him. Sangkuryang liked to hunt in the woods, of course with Tumong. One day Dayong Sumbi asked him to bring home a deer's heart. But, after hunting for several days, he could not find any deer in the woods. He did not want to disappoint his mother and was thinking hard how to bring home a deer's heart. Suddenly he had a very bad idea. He killed Tumong. Then he brought his heart home and gave it to Dayong Sumbi. Sangkuryang could not cheat her. She knew it was Tumong's heart. So, she got very angry and hit Sangkuryang's forehead with a piece of wood and told him to leave. With a bad wound on his forehead, Sangkuryang left the village. Many years later, Sangkuryang grew up to be a powerful man. One day he went back to his village. He met a beautiful young woman there, and he fell in love with her at the first sight. It was Dayong Sumbi. She never got older because she had been granted eternal youth by the gods. Sangkuryang did not know that she was his mother, so she came to her and proposed to marry her. When he walked closer to her, Dayong Sumbi got very surprised. She saw the scar in Sangkuryang's forehead, and soon she knew that he was her son, who left her a long time ago. She told him the truth and tried hard to explain it to him, but he did not believe her. She did not want to break his heart, so she accepted his proposal but gave him an impossible thing to do. She wanted him to build a lake and a boat in just one night. Sangkuryang agreed, because he knew that he could make it with the help of his genies. By midnight he finished the lake and then started making the boat. Dayong Sumbi was thinking hard to find a way to fail him. Before dawn, she asked the people in the village to burn the woods in the east, and the light made all the cocks crow. Thinking that the night would be over soon, the genies ran fast and left Sangkuryang before the boat was finished. Sangkuryang realized that Dayong Sumbi had cheated him, got very angry and he kicked the boat upside down. It gradually became mountain and it is now known as Mount Tangkuban Parahu.
Hello, my name is Putra Septiani Dewi, and my attendance list number is 32. I will explain about the generic structure of Sangkuryang's story. We know that narrative text has 3 structures. I will discuss them one by one. In the first, orientation. Orientation, when and where the event occurs. Then introduce the characters contained in the story And then, which part the orientation in the story of Sangkuriang? Okay, the orientation is in the first and second paragraph, because in the dash paragraph introduce the main characters. 1. Introduce characters. Dayang Sumbi as princess, Tumang a dog or Dayang Sumbi as band, and Sangkuriang the son. 2. Telling the setting. Once upon a time, and one day, a setting of time. In the woods as setting of page. 2. Complication. In this section, the problems faced by the characters in the story begin to emerge until they reach the climax of the story. Okay, then which part of the complication in the story Sangkuriang? Complication are found on the paragraph 3, 4, 5, and 6 because they explain the problems in the story and how the characters solve them. On text, starting from the bad idea of Sangkuriang lying to Dayang Sumbi about Tumang's head being a deer, to the story that Dayang Sumbi wanted Sangkuriang to build a lake and a ship in one night. 3. Resolution. Is either in a happy ending or sad ending. Then, which part of the resolution in the story Sangkuriang? Okay, resolution in the paragraph 7 or last, because it tells how the ending of Sangkuriang's story. So, in the story, there will definitely be a happy ending and sad ending, alright? In the end of this story, of course, Sangkuriang's struggle did not success and ended in a sad ending. Analysis of the purpose and moral message of the Sangkuriang story. Communicative purpose of Sangkuriang story. 1. To entertain the readers. 2. To give moral value or lesson about the story. And the moral value of the Sangkuriang story. 1. We must not tell a lie. 2. We must control our anger. 3. Do not divulge by lust.
My name is Tjokorda Dewi Semaraputra, Tanaya, number 38. I will explain about the when it is used from Folktale or legend. When it is used, we know narrative text is a text that contains imaginary story, fairy tales, or true story that have been exaggerated. The purpose of this text is to entertain the reader about a story or story written by the author and also implies a moral message. Narrative text uses the past tense. This tense is used for events that happened in the past. We can conclude narrative text is used when telling past events that can educate, motivate, and entertain the reader. But the story is exaggerated by author. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kadek Adi Gunawan, absen 13. Presentasi Lenglei language factor. Language factor, the language factor of narrative, the continent in the story. Sang Korean here on came up a time on day many years later, a long time ago. She pressed to passing past tense, variable tense. He happy bow. She clothed with resilience. She showed she kept him from. She married the dog. He always played with his Sangkuriang leg to her. She too was year plus jet and I now a investing nominal stance. His name was Cham. She was beautiful. Dayang Sambi was very surprised. Cuma was to a man. Sang Korean was sun brown. Her hobby was having cloud. Can as direct speaks hacked by. Can anybody help me get my tour? If you are femme, I will take you as my sister. If you are a man, I will marry you. Speaks creator. The creator of the story is speak, not grammar. Sang Korean is a speak. Creator is the story.
I continues for the language ventures. Theme conjunction. When, ten, sandalti. Action verb. Killet, kicket, hit, asket, told, broke head. Hello, my name is Putu Sintia Widya Tari. My attendance list number is 34. I will explain about content analysis. Content analysis. As a real person, folktale is a fairy tale was a tale a noun and is told from generation to generation by word of mouth. This folktale is included is narrative text because both story is are non-fiction genre. The structure of narrative text is orientation, complication, and resolution. A query text is no more thing, namely reorientation, but the structure is optional, not broken. We can use narrative text when to tell about event that can address motivation and entertain the reader. But the story is arrogantly by the author, so as talking animals, craft, broomsticks, etc. The long ventures of narrative text of the story Sang Korean are 1. At per of time, 2. Past tenses, 3. Theme conjunction, 4. Action verb, 5. Speaking character, 6. Direction censorship.
Thank you for your attention. Sorry if there are wrong words and shortcomings that we have confided in the video. See you soon.